What does the number 167 mean to you?
It's funny. The statisticians of the world have sort of come to me the last sort of month or two, and started saying that if you complete so many games, you'll break the record. And it's a nice achievement, but at the same time, we're in a team sport, and I never have played for an individual honor in the sport, and I never will. I hope that I can continue playing games, but not for a record, but for the enjoyment of football, and hopefully to help my team gain points as we roll along.
I guess what it does mean that you've been free of injuries, you've been consistent and very dependable. Is that how you like to be viewed?
Yeah, I think any goalkeeper would like to be viewed as that. You don't, as a goalkeeper, you don't really want to be viewed as eccentric, in my opinion. I think most managers and players would prefer a consistent goalkeeper. I just try to keep myself as fit as I can, and as I get older, that becomes more and more of a chore. And it's more demanding, and you have to be more focused. But at the same time, it's a real sense of satisfaction when you are able to keep yourself fit and you are able to keep yourself at a certain level of form. And I don't do it for awards. I do it so I can play in football matches, and I sign a contract with football clubs to ensure that we try to get as many points on the board or advance in cup competitions as they come.
I would imagine, I think it's fair to say that you're nearer to the end of your career than the beginning. Let's say that. How punishing is it to be a goalkeeper and to maintain this sequence of dependability?
Yeah, I mean, it takes its toll. I mean, no doubt. Banging on the ground for one. When people don't look at a collision with another player, I mean, we're making a collision every time that we dive, and some pitches are harder than others, and when you're diving at players' feet, and you do take your bumps and bruises. Outfield players do as well, but as we get up in age, and you can be fortunate to stay away from the big injuries with your knees and your shoulders, you can carry on longer as a goalkeeper. We don't have to cover the amount of yards that outfield players do, and you don't have to keep a level of CV work that the outfield players do. And if you have the right diet and if you look after yourself off the field, you can carry on for more years, which is really enjoyable, because then you get to play a game for your job for, if you can be lucky into your 40s.
It's interesting you say that you find it enjoyable, because after a long time at any one thing, when it's your job, you can take a different view of it, and the fun goes out perhaps. The thing that you started with as a youngster can diminish, I think it's fair to say. You come across that in all walks of life. Are you saying that it hasn't, that it's still as fun now as it always was?
No, I'd say the worst day, and I can only speak for myself, but the worst day in my footballing career, I would like to think is better than what any one of my days would be if I had a different job, to be honest with you. Playing football, it is hard work, and you do have to be good at it. You have to be focused, and you have to be determined. You have to be a professional. However, it is there's a lot of fun attached to it, and at the end of the day, we are playing a game that we started playing when we were 6 years old. So, the rules have only changed very slightly along the way, and I can't get enough of it. And every morning that I wake up, I really look forward to coming into training, and then obviously when the games come, that's the pinnacle of your week.
I just wonder, actually, you've had long enough at this now. What is the art of goalkeeping? In as simple a term as you can for as a thumbnail sketch, what's the Brad Friedel view of the art of goalkeeping then? You've done it long enough.
Well, I think you try to make the difficult look easy. I think you as a goalkeeper, we touched on the word consistency. You like to try to make what some people might say are easy saves and bread and butter saves. You'd like to try to make those all the time. And if you're fortunate enough to save one into the upper corner, if you're fortunate to save a penalty, or fortunate to save one off the line, off of header, things of that nature, that can really be a catalyst and give a team an uplift. But the consistency factor is a big one with goalkeepers, because 9 times out of 10 when we make a mistake, the ball ends up in the back of the net. And the further up the pitch that you go, your defenders can make less mistakes than your midfielders and your strikers, things of that nature. So it really does. Our mistakes really do have a detrimental effect, which is why I also think that they're highlighted so much. And every single one of us in the game has gone through the highs and lows. We've all been dragged through the press, and we've all been adulated in the press. So it's not. You can't go to the highs and lows of your triumphs and of your downfalls. You just have to stay consistent through the whole way, and that's what I always tell the boys in my academy and anyone who asks me the question.
There is, they say, a goalkeepers union. It's an unofficial union, I think, but there's a respect. Mm-hmm. Your opposite number, week in, week out. The likes of David James, I think his record is the one, hopefully, fingers crossed, you're about to break. You have a healthy respect for all the other keepers, I think, don't you?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I'm in a fortunate position that when I do see mistakes being made, I'll know why they were made. I would still agree with most people that they are mistakes, but I do know why, and I can sympathize. You know, there's goalkeepers every season that get picked out for criticism, and there's goalkeepers every season that get picked out for heroics. You know, that's just the way life is as a goalkeeper.
Over the years, has the pressure increased or decreased from your perspective?
The pressure's decreased. Obviously, you learn how to cope with different things better, and I also have a family back to go home to after games, which is going home to two young children after you've lost a game is good for the situation. I still get the butterflies in the stomach before games. You know, you still have the anticipation of going out and playing, but it's not an anxiety or anything of that nature. It's not a nervousness where you think you're going to fail or anything of that nature. The excitement's still there, but the pressure really isn't there to the point of affecting the performance. The pressure is there, you know, where you want to reach your goals. I set individual goals. The team sets collective team goals that we want to try to hit, all with the aim of finishing as high up the league table as possible. And that's where you put more pressure probably on yourself than you feel from around the country.
Talking of pressure, is there individual pressure? And there's another Brad at Aston Villa. He, I'm sure, keeps you on your toes, doesn't he? Brad Guzan.
Yeah, absolutely. Every club that I've played for, there's pressure in that sense. There's always someone there to keep you on your toes. When I first signed at Liverpool, David James was obviously there, who was an outstanding goalkeeper. When you go to Blackburn, they had John Filan, Alan Miller, and Alan Kelly, all three very good goalkeepers. And then Peter Enkelman came in, and Jason Brown came in. And I've come here, and we've got Stuart Taylor and Brad Guzan's here. And so every club you go to, there's good goalkeepers, and goalkeepers that are very capable of taking your place. Brad's a new goalkeeper to the league over here, and he'll be learning his ropes. But he's a very, very good goalkeeper, and he'll, in my opinion, he'll be able to carve a career out for himself over here, with no problems at all.
What about Villa's recent form? I mean, it's very clear looking at the league table that things are going pretty well for you.
Yeah, things could have been going really well. We had two poor results actually against away at Newcastle and at home, especially at home to Middlesbrough. Where Middlesbrough we didn't play particularly poorly. We just made two mistakes and found ourselves on the losing side. And then after you go through two poor results like that, and then you see Arsenal away and Man United at home on your fixture list, you know some may fear the worst. However, our team showed a lot of character, and we had a tremendous performance at the Emirates, and we had another solid performance against United. So this game coming up against Fulham is of mega importance. If we can get the 3 points against Fulham, that'll put us in a really strong position going forward.
You had 8 years at Blackburn, but it does sound like you made a good decision to come here when you did.
It was when it was presented to me, and when Blackburn accepted the transfer fee. I know they reluctantly did, but it took a little while. And they also accepted a transfer fee from Manchester City. After I came here and spoke with the chairman and with the gaffer, it was evident of where they wanted to take the club, and it was a bit of a surprise to myself, never being here before, at how big the fan base actually is in the Midland area for Aston Villa. And after I met with all parties concerned, it was an easy decision.
And a good one so far.
Yeah, it's worked out well. I mean, and let me rephrase that, not an easy decision to leave Blackburn, because I had a great time at Blackburn, and the fans tremendous, and the board fantastic, and the players are very good. But what I've stepped into here is something that could be really exciting.